Be alert and watch carefully all that you do. Be sharp-witted. Be alert in doing khidmah, in following your Shaykh. Be ready to carry out the orders that your Shaykh gives you. And do not be afraid, even if you have to give up your life or your wealth. Think of yourself as being the lowest of all of the murids. Whatever deed you perform in service, you must also think of it as also being negligible. Even if you don't commit many sins, always think of yourself as a sinner. Intelligent, you have to be wise in performing your duties for the Shaykh with the necessity of politeness. Do not use your own intelligence to object or to criticize any of the actions or the speech or the commands of your Shaykh. Remember, you came to him because you don't know, so don't think later on that you do know. Be respectful and read and act upon all of the adab that is outlined, all of the etiquettes outlined. Respect your Shaykh to the best of your ability. Mannerly, be cheerful and pleasant and approach all and everyone with good manners. Be polite, be courteous to your fellow murids. Do not put your load upon anyone else. Keep away from pride, keep away from jealousy, be happy and be ready to do service to the Shaykh. Put yourself in front of your Shaykh like a dead body is placed in front of the washer before burial. And never, never leave the company of your Shaykh. Even though your Shaykh has asked you to leave him many times, accept all of the trials and the tribulations that come to you and do not become disheartened. These are general rules. These are general rules. And they'll be available in form so you can, because it sounds like much when you hear them, but just let come to you what comes to you. These are general rules, which if someone who seeks knowledge and tranquility of self follows, you will be safe. There are many, many little books that you can find, alhamdulillah, like little, when I say little books, I mean little books like this size, that have the adab of the Shaykh, the rights of the Shaykh, the adab of the murid, the rights of the Shaykh, all of these things you can find. They're very helpful books because they've been written over many, many centuries in dealing with this question. Most of them are useful and helpful. Remember, you would never have gone looking for the Shaykh unless at some point you came to understand that you didn't really know why you were here, what this was about. And you knew that you didn't know, and in truth you really wanted to know why you were here and what was life about anyway. So you went looking, not even knowing really what you were looking for, but knowing that you could not really continue to live your life as you have been living it because it just wasn't working out, right? That's what happens to everybody. Life somehow becomes hollow, has no real meaning, or there's something you can't even put your name on it, you can't really define it. It's just something that's not there because it's a lack. Something took the flavor out of everything, the color is gone. And in time you become desperate. And maybe your heart was broken. And you were tired of looking for love in all the wrong places and looking for love in all the wrong faces. So you came to this person that they call the Shaykh. The Shaykh is the one who has reached the degree of direction and experience. It's called Dar, the Markam al-Irshad wa Shaykhiyat Muta'ain Mudan. In other words, he has reached a place, he's required to have a place that he reached under his own or her own rigorous spiritual guidance, through the spiritual path, through the mystical travel. He's reached, not going, but reached. Because if you're going, it's another thing, but if you've reached, then you're able to lead other travelers. Obviously, if you want to go to Richmond and you don't know how to get to Richmond, and somebody who knows how to get to Richmond, they can tell you how to get to Richmond. But if you don't know, you know it's over there somewhere. And so maybe you go this way, maybe you go there, take this road, take that road. Maybe they keep going this way. But somebody says, no. Whether it's Google or it's somebody or whatever it is, they say to you, no, here's what you need to do. This road, it takes you to here, you go to there, you get to here, you take this, and it goes to there, and you get off here, and like that. And in what place are you looking for? Oh, you're looking for that place, ISGR, Islamic Society of Greater Richmond. Okay, so you get off at Broad Street, take a right, then you go up 3 streets, take another right, then take a left, and then you'll be, because they've been there, they know. So this is the understanding. If the person hasn't been there, how can they take you to where you want to go? So this person who has arrived themselves is the only one who can guide you to where you're going. There are people who have all kinds of ancillary knowledge, or bits and pieces of knowledge, or things that they know, or things that they understand. Beware of these people, because they've not arrived. How can they really help you in the end? You have to find somebody who has reached the state. And reach is a curious thing, because Allah says, "Huwa ma'akum aynama kuntum." Allah is with you wherever you are, so there's actually no place to go, but He is in contact with that place that there is no place to go, because He's in that place where Allah is. So that He can speak and make clear, how do you make that kind of contact? This master can guide disciples as the rightly guided khulafa and the imams could guide the Muslim believers. This irshad passes to the Rashidun, or to say the khulafa could be khulafa Rashidun, rightly guided, who are successors. This is an analogy often used by the Sufis, referring to the prophetic model. It exists not only as a model of what we call uswatun hasanatun, or the beautiful example of the Prophet, but as the standard for the Shaykh. Be sure, and I say this very clearly, be sure when you seek the guidance from this person that he or she has all their documents. Their documents of ijazat, their documents of idhn from their own Shaykh. Be wary of any person who claims that they are a Waisi, that they have received their ijazat or their idhn from the batin, or from unseen and unknown sources. Allahu alam, may be true, maybe not. But if somebody comes to you and say, yes, here, this is this, it's just like if you want to have a heart operation, you go to the doctor and he has a thing on the wall and it says so-and-so attended this university and he's learned to do that. And what is he dealing with? He's dealing with valves and plumbings and pipes, and you could go to a plumber for a heart operation, but you wouldn't want to. I mean, he understands valves, he understands, but why do you go to the guy who has that thing? Because he's been trained to do that. This is a tradition, this is a thing that goes from generation, like myself, I'm number 34. My Shaykh was 33, then there was 32, 31, and all the way back to the Prophet alayhi-salatul. That's how it works. And not only that, I don't say that, I don't come before you and say that I said that, he said that. Shaykh said, you are my Khalifa. You have reached a point where you can do this. This is your job, this is your function, this is what you do. Just the way the man is in the hospital, that some doctors or council or board of doctors examine him and they find, okay, he's ready to do that. They're not going to turn it over, the operating theater over to some plumber. How long they will stay in business? This is the thing. And today there are many what we call, many wolves in sheep's clothing. Many wolves in sheep's clothing. They promise you, they take you on a boat to go someplace and it sinks. And you never reach. And you find yourself, years go by and nothing happens. What happened? Say, I've been a student for 40 years now, nothing ever happened. Well, I mean, you could be a student for 40 years because you enjoy sitting with your Shaykh, but if in 40 years nothing happened, Sidi Abu Hassan used to say, hey, if you spend 3 days with me and you don't get it, you have to go someplace else. That's what he tells the people. I tell the people, look, if you can find a sweeter spring, go drink from that. He never tried to keep people, go where you can find it. Go to somebody who can produce results in you so that you become surefied in what you're doing. This is the thing. And you have to have, there has to be some way of understanding that this is a school. You say, this is a branch, we are a branch here, this is a branch, it's called the Green Mountain branch of the Shadali school. We're just a branch, there are thousands of branches. It's like a tree, thousands of branches. But Like if you look at the tree of the Prophet, you look at any tree, you look at the silsila, it comes back. This is who it is. This traces back to this, traces back to that, traces back. This is how you got to where you are. So if you're looking, be sure that you find somebody like that. Or else, you pays your money and you takes your chances. You don't know what might happen or what might not happen. But this way you can be sure. Ibn al-Arabi, Qaddasallahu sirruhu, summarizes the signs of a shaykh, a camel, a qualified or a perfected shaykh, to be three. His deen resembles the deen of the Anbiya, alayhi-s-salaam. He prescribes like a physician. He manages and controls things like that of a king or a general. That's what you look for. Look for somebody whose deen is like the deen of the Anbiya, like he's into it to that degree that when he gives you medicine, when he gives you things, the things work. Like if you go to a doctor and he keeps giving you things and it doesn't work, what's the point of going to the doctor? He's got to work. You take 2 of these and call me in the morning. Do these practices, do these, okay, all right. You have to see some result. And when you look at him, he's ordering things around. He'll move this here, go here, this comes here, that goes there. He's like a general, he's like a king, in that he's actually dealing with things in the world in such a way. You have to see him like that. He has to be like that. We say, he should possess the necessary knowledge of the deen, which he must have acquired by either academic pursuit of such knowledge or from the companionship of the ulama muhakkikeen. He has to, either he has an ijazah, he's going to such and such a school of Shariat somewhere like this, he's going to Azhar, going to Damascus, he's going to Tarim, he's going somewhere in India or somewhere in Pakistan or somewhere, anywhere, or in Karaween or in any of these places that he's going, he has undertaken, he's taken the time undertaken to do this work. And has the proof of it. Or some people don't, they go to many different places, what they do is they hang out with these people and they get from the subh of being with these people, they get it like as through osmosis. And this happens too. As I said again, you must be sure that he is a khalifa and he is attached to an authentic silsila, and he has the ijazah, and it's signed and it's witnessed by his shaykh. He should be upright and pious and have derived his own spiritual benefit by remaining for an adequate period of time in the company of the shaykh. This is one of the most important things. What we call this breaking your legs. Breaking your legs. I have spent hours with my shaykh while he was deciding divorce cases, for instance, in a tiny little office in Cairo. People come to him with their problems. And a lot of the problems having to do with marriage. And this family and that family, and they didn't get along, and they bought the apartment, they paid for the paint, they bought the furniture, and they have to take it apart. So why am I'm not here, I want to study Sufism. I want to study, I want to be a Sufi. So this guy, what is he doing? He's dealing with divorce cases, right? You sit there patiently for hours on end, listen as he works, and then you begin to see what does he do, how he acts, how he operates, how the compassion works, how it does like that. Or you spend hours like that. There's many students. If your shaykh has many students, this one has this thing, this one has that thing. Sometimes you don't get much time with him. Direct time. You're just sitting there. But all the time you're sitting there, if you're smart, you're learning. This is called breaking your legs. This is called putting in time. You put in your time. You sit. Beware of people who say they went to Morocco and they spent 3 weeks with such and such a guy, and then they came back and he gave them a piece of paper. He probably gave them that piece of paper to get rid of him. Often. This happens.